What is your idea of dating? What's the
I
definition?
haven't been out on
What's
a
the
date in so long. This generation of dating, there's still that want and feeling of feeling special.
You've had a past where you've spoken about it openly, that you felt that there was something wrong in a relationship that happened. What is this one advice you'd like to give people who constantly like either have a tendency or the ones who deal with something like this?
I can't tell you how many times I hear, yeah, they had an affair, what's the big deal? I'm like, excuse me? What are you talking about? What's the big deal? And it just bothers me so much to hear this. I guess that's based on each relationship. That agreement needs to be there. If the agreement is there, then it's fine. You do what you want because that's what you've agreed to. But if it's not what you've agreed to, then you're just being dishonest.
What are your thoughts of her being part of Splitsvilla? Do you like her her style?
I love everything about Uorfi. She's the best. She really is. Just exactly the way she is. I would never want to change anything about her. I think for my husband, if it was someone who wasn't heterosexual, then he would be totally fine if my best friend was a man. If he was heterosexual, then he might have a problem with it. So it's kind of like to each his own in each situation. Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.
Today we are here to figure out why she's so awesome. आज हम पता करके रहेंगे. Welcome to Bollywood Hungama, guys. My name is Urmin. Sunny Leone.
Hi.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
It's so nice to see you.
Thank you.
What is the answer to my question? Why are you so awesome?
I don't know. I was born like this. I'm just kidding.
Right answer. For 10 points to Gryffindor.
You know, I love Lady Gaga, so I was born like this. Born this way.
Sunny, I'd like to start by asking you the first question because we are here for a show that has been going on for years. It's the 15th season of Splitsvilla. Excuse me, please.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
ExSqueeze Me Please.
Me. Oh my God,
Yeah.
look at that. How obvious can it get? What is your idea of dating? What is the
No, I
definition?
haven't been out on a date in so long. All right. So when I was dating, it was a completely different generation of dating. But what I've come to learn on Splitsvilla is even though these contestants, they come in and they say, we want a situationship, we don't want any labels on our relationship, we don't want this and that and that. But at the end of the day, let me tell you, they all love traditional ways of getting to know each other. They do not want somebody else hitting on their girl or their guy. They all like to still mark their territory and say, lady or guy, you need to back off, this is mine. So I think that even in this generation of dating, there's still that want and feeling of feeling special and feeling like you're the only one for that person. So my ideal situation when I think about dating would be to sit and get to know somebody. And if it's a blind date, definitely something where there's some activity so that you can talk and do an activity and there's no awkward silence.
Like as you were growing up, we realized that in India, this term of dating was very different. In fact, even a proposal would not so much happen here because families would talk. You knew that, okay, you're getting married to this person, and then you just reach the date, the wedding date. And then slowly, steadily, there have been 2 rings that now guys have to buy. One is when they propose and one at the wedding. So when you say that, you also come from a generation where dating was very different. Do you still like the traditional way of dating, or are you happy with the new things that are happening?
I think that along with dating, everything changes with each generation that's coming forward. So I think everything has to change anyways. Like there are not situations where you would meet somebody and say, well, I have this at my disposal. Why wouldn't I go cyber stalk him for a little bit and see, who this person is? Is he telling the truth? And I think that's what social media has done, is it's created this fictional person of who that person is. And social media also, it's like a product. You're not seeing the flaws of that product because it's not being displayed. So when we put ourselves out there on social media or any of these dating sites, we're only putting out those things that we want people to know and not necessarily how we actually are. And so I think that's also part of the fun of meeting somebody. Traditionally, how you meet somebody, like we're in a bar and restaurant right now.
Yeah.
And if we were to meet somebody, I would love the idea of getting to know them slowly as each date passes or as we talk to each other, then completely cyber stalking them and judging them before we even get to date number 2. So I don't know. I'm more like, I would like to see more of this traditional way of getting to know each other. And I think, in Splitsvilla, we have a certain amount of time that we're there. And these kids and these contestants, they are learning about each other in the traditional way. They don't have their phones. They don't have social media. They have no way of, cyber stalking somebody and figuring out who they are, what they do, what does their Instagram page look like, how many followers do they have, because that also must be in the back of their head. Or is this person popular? Is this person like someone who is wanted amongst the social media world? And because social media is its currency, so I think that even though Splitsvilla is so advanced in so many ways, it still is making these contestants and these kids get to know each other on a very traditional way with a twist, obviously.
I love it. I like the fact that you mentioned that you also enjoy a certain kind of activity if you're meeting someone new for the first time, and that's what Splitsvilla also does.
Yeah, we do that on like a whole other level.
Yeah, what's the weirdest thing you have yourself seen happening on the show?
Okay, so one of the episodes, and people, I think they can watch it now, is where we blindfold them and they have to guess who their squeeze is based on either touch or some activity we give them, and they're blindfolded. So at the end, Tanuj says, "It's your turn, Sunny." I was like, okay, great, but please, no shady stuff needs to happen. And he ended up sending 2 girls to me. One's giving a massage here, one's doing something else. And, that was one of the more funny, awkward episodes in Splitsvilla this year for me.
You see a lot of backstabbing.
He forgot to send the really hot boys to me, and he sent girls.
Maybe we should reshoot that episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I always say, like, Splitsvilla is not just for them, it's also for my eyes, too. I mean, I need to enjoy myself. Because these are young, hot, good-looking, all-in-shape boys.
But do you get to, like, actually off-camera judge them a little? Oh, this person's doing the wrong thing. I mean, I wish I could actually go and tell them that...
Well, I think it's human nature to judge people's actions and things that they say. But at the same time, as a host, I also have to realize they're in their 20s. They're like 19, 18, 20, 21. And this is their time to make all those mistakes and say really dumb things or say things that are inappropriate. And that's where Tanuj and I, we come and play and we say, listen, that's politically incorrect for you to say. It is a big faux pas and just it coming out of your mouth. So please don't say that, because you are, at the end of the day, a role model. And we have to change the way some of these young people think, like mold them to understand that there's certain things that we don't do. And some of the contestants are from really small towns or places in India where, maybe that train of thought is not there, and maybe their upbringing is very, very different, and that's okay. That's amazing in its own way. But sometimes we have to say, okay, listen, we don't act like this, or we don't talk like this. There was a lot of that happened this year. I feel like I did a lot of scolding. There's one episode where I go, you need to get your shit together, stop crying, and only then I can help you. But first you have to stop crying, get it together, pull your shit together, and we have to be able to move forward, and then I can help you.
I can see the mom here.
I know. It was bad. I don't know if it's good or bad, but at the end, when that moment, see, the thing is that they're so young, and everything is heightened in that moment that you have to they don't understand that that moment's going to pass because it's so dramatic at that moment for them, emotionally or physically, whatever it is. So we have to remind them as people who have a little bit more life experience, saying this moment is going to pass, and these feelings are going to pass. But let's work on how we can solve the situation instead of being hysterical, crying, and hands are flying. That all that happens, and you can't laugh at them because that would be really insensitive when they're flailing their arms around and hyperventilating, and you're like, come on, like, let's get it together. So hopefully they learned a little bit about themselves. I think they do.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstabbing, cheating, a lot of things that happen. What's your advice to them? You've had a past where you've spoken about it openly, that you felt that there was something wrong in a relationship that happened. What is this one advice you'd like to give people who constantly, like, either have a tendency or the ones who deal with something like this?
You know what I've noticed a lot lately, and it comes up in conversation a lot within our industry or even on the show, is these open relationships or relationships where I can't tell you how many times I hear, yeah, they had an affair, what's the big deal? I'm like, excuse me? What are you talking about? What's the big deal? And it just bothers me so much to hear this. I mean, it's one thing, we live in the entertainment world. You are going to flirt with people, you're going to see people, you're going to have that one-on-one, like either sexy banter or you're going to be flirting with different people, but that's the world we live in, and as long as you're okay with it and someone reciprocating that flirting, you have to be okay with. But this idea of, not being monogamous, I guess that's based on each relationship. That agreement needs to be there. If their agreement is there, then it's fine. You do what you want because that's what you've agreed to. But if it's not what you've agreed to, then you're just being dishonest. Yeah. And not just to yourself, but to the other person. And for me, that just sounds like, it sounds like it's too stressful. How do you juggle, two different people all at once? Maybe people get off on it. I don't know. But it's, it's not something that I'm comfortable with.
And I think, trust is also something that if it's broken once, I don't know if it's possible to get it back. And if it does, it takes a really, really long time. Yeah. Would you agree to that?
I agree, because in the back of your mind, you're always like, does he think that person? I say openly to my husband all the time, but I would never act on it. I was like, he's really cute. I did it last night when we were watching TV. I was like, but he's so cute. How did they cast him for this role? I'm sure my husband's always like, you're crazy. Or I'll openly say, I'm like, hello, we're on Splitsvilla. I need eye candy as well to look at. But that's, our banter between each other. And it's better to be honest. Like, if he thinks a girl's really hot, then great. You should say, like, wow, she's really hot. She's really good looking.
Right. How important are fights in a relationship, according to you?
Yeah, I think that fighting is part of, a relationship no matter what. It's just about where you compromise and how you end up coming to an agreement at the end. It shouldn't just be one-sided. Like, if I feel a certain way, I'm a Taurus, I'm a bull. It's not always fun to fight with me.
What is the most common thing you all fight about, you and your husband?
The most common thing, we don't really fight so much. It might be that we don't agree on each other's parenting style at that moment. Because my reactions are different to certain things and his reactions are different, and we both try and be the best parents we can, but at the same time we have to listen to each other and how we address certain situations. Like, we don't always agree on our parenting style.
Sunny, Uorfi Javed is another, I think she's a star. She's just funny, she's just herself. She just does everything that she wants, and then she makes it really big in the eyes of everyone. What are your thoughts of her being part of Splitsvilla?
I think that bringing her back as an official mischief maker and bringing her into the actual challenges and making her a part of the whole narrative of the show, I think it's a great idea. I think she does really well, and the contestants as well enjoy when she comes. So in the beginning they enjoy Uorfi a lot, but then as time passes, they're like, oh no, she's back. We know she's about to drop a bomb on us somehow. She knows so much information and so much dirt about us that they get a little scared, but they love her when she comes, which is really nice.
Do you like her style?
I love everything about Uorfi. She's the best. She really is. Just exactly the way she is. I would never want to change anything about her.
I'm going to end this interview with a quick game that I'd like to play with you. So I'm going to give you a few situations. You need to tell us that is it a red flag or a green flag?
Okay.
Within a guy or a girl. So, सबसे पहले, does not post or tag you on his or her social media accounts. Red flag, green flag.
Like if I'm dating them? Oh, it's a red flag if they don't.
It's a red flag.
Yeah.
If the guy is a mama's boy.
Well, I like mama's boy. Mama's boy means that he probably respects his mother a lot, which is one of those things on my list.
Yeah.
That you have to respect your mother, meaning that they're probably raised to respect women. So that's
a green
flag.
Does not pay on the first date.
I believe in chivalry. On a first date, a guy should play. So that would be a red flag if he doesn't.
Okay. Is extremely caring. Too caring.
That would be a red flag. He's got to be a little bad boy too. I mean, we need a healthy balance.
Yeah. Okay. Asks you to send your location each time you go out.
Oh, that would be a red flag. Although my husband always knows where I am. I mean,
not just your husband, everyone knows where you are because of apps.
Yeah, I know. So even when we first started dating, I don't know, I feel like if you really like each other, you're like, hey, how are you? I'm here with my friends. Like, it's not such a let me check in with you situation. It's more like, hi, I miss you and I still find you really hot and I can't wait to see you later. I'm here now, but I want to come hang out, something like that.
All right. Okay. Has a problem with you having a best friend of the opposite sex?
I don't know.
Ooh, okay.
That one's really difficult because, I mean, if it's like, I think for my husband, if it was someone who wasn't heterosexual, then he would be totally fine if my best friend was a man. And if he was heterosexual, then he might have a problem with it. So it's kind of like to each his own in each situation.
Okay. Maybe it depends on the bond. Probably.
Yeah. And if you're someone who has a best friend who's a guy, but that guy's really touchy-feely, then that would probably be a red flag.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Leaves the toilet seat up.
Oh my God. My son just did that the other day and I literally fell into the toilet. I was like, Noah, why? So have to teach him how to put the toilet seat down.
Red flag, beta.
Yeah, seriously.
Okay. Has a very bad fashion sense.
That's a red flag.
Okay. Carries the baggage of his or her past relationship.
That's a red flag.
And still in touch with the ex.
That's a red flag.
Sunny, this was so much fun. I loved it.
Thank
you so much. And all the very best to many, many more seasons. My God.
I know. If they'll have me, I'll stay forever.
Yeah, this is going to go on and on. And we'll be like, हमारे ज़माने में हम देखते थे अभी भी आ रही हैं.
Yeah, I don't ever want to sound like that ever.
Red flag.
Yeah, red flag.
It's Sunny Leone on Bollywood Hungama. Thank you guys for watching us.
Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching me on Bollywood Hungama.